Hello, I'm Elif and this is a recap for episode 57 of the series One Love, 24 hours after Turkey and before dubbed for TV. The children of Pembe rush to their mother, and Olev, frightened and unsure of what to do, goes to her room and calls Abdullah, saying urgently, "Believe me, it wasn't my doing. I don't know what happened. We had an argument. She wanted to kick me out. We got into a fight. She fell down the stairs." Abdullah is shocked and, with Omar and Metahon, rushes to the hospital. On the way, Nilay tells Mustafa, "We can use this incident to our advantage. Only this way can we save our father from that woman. We need to tell everyone that Olev pushed her." Mustafa considers and agrees. Pembe is under observation, and Abdullah arrives at the hospital. He asks his children what happened, and just as Fatih is about to speak, Mustafa interrupts, saying, "Olev pushed her." Fatih is stunned, and when he sees Nilay also confirming Mustafa's words, he says the story is true. Abdullah is shocked. Shortly after, when the doctor announces that Pembe is fine, the children go to see their mother, and Nilay immediately says, "We told everything. We said Olev pushed her." Pembe looks at Nilay and says, "You did a good job." Olev returns home and is forced to confess everything to her mother. Salmez, who didn't even know Olev had gone to Pembe's house, scolds her and says, "What if that woman had died? How shameless and disgraceful you are." Doa defends Olev, saying, "After all, she has a child in her womb." Salmez says, "I see how much you care about that child." Olev, unable to tolerate these accusations any longer, leaves for her home with dismay. An hour later, Pembe is brought back home, and Abdullah apologizes to her in front of their children, saying, "I can't forgive what happened to your mother. I wished none of this had happened, but it couldn't be helped. But the Olev issue is over forever." Pembe asks, "What about the child?" Abdullah says, "I can't interfere in this matter. If it's born, it's my child, and it's my duty to take responsibility." Fatih says, "But we're 3 siblings. That child may be related to you, but not to us." During the summer's iftar, she informs her family that Omid will sing again, and says they have decided not to meddle in each other's affairs anymore. Pembe, annoyed, says, "We said stay at home. Now we have to wait until dawn for the drunk to come home." Abdullah suggests they leave them alone for a while. Pembe says, "When they were left alone, we had to release your son-in-law from prison." Nusama wants to leave the house, but is persuaded by Mustafa not to. Omar and Kızılcık have gone to see each other, and Omar tells Kızılcık that their relationship has reached a point where they are not affected by the bad events around them anymore. And it's time for them to live together. He says, "We can even get married again. What do you think?" Kızılcık says, "For me, being with you is important. It's not about marriage." She happily agrees. Abdullah goes to Olev's house to deliver his final words, saying, "Coming to that house was a mistake. Arguing with Pembe was a mistake. But pushing her was too much." Olev denies doing it, but Abdullah believes his children's words. He says, "It's over, Olev. I can't anymore. I love you so much, but Pembe is the mother of my children." Shocked, Olev kicks Abdullah out of her house, saying, "Don't mention my name anymore. You're the most cowardly person I've ever seen in my life." At night, Omid informs Nusama that his performances have received a lot of attention, and the bar manager has suggested he speak with the program manager to take their music career more seriously. Nusama is delighted and suggests they record their videos at Rüzgar studio and says she'll talk to Rüzgar about it herself. At night, Abdullah tells Pembe in his room, "You have the right to say whatever you want, but from now on, my family comes first." Pembe asks, "Are you regretful?" Abdullah says, "Do you want me to tell you the truth?" Pembe says, "No. I understand what your answer is. You've never seen me the way you saw that woman." Abdullah assures her, "No one will upset you again. I promise." Pembe replies, "Your promise means nothing to me anymore." The next morning, before going to work, Nusama visits Olev's house and reproaches her for what she did with her mother, saying, "I loved you, Olev. But you were so insolent." Olev responds, "I valued you because of Omid. Whether you like me or not doesn't matter to me." Nusama advises her to stay away from her parents and leaves. Olev goes to see her mother and tells her that her relationship with Abdullah ended last night. Salmez, who hears this for the umpteenth time, doesn't believe Olev's regret. Olev says, "I want to bring my child into this world and raise them. Right now, I need an open embrace. Salme says, you're making the same mistake again. Olev leaves from there with dismay. Chiman calls her mother and invites her to come to her house, but Kızılcık refuses and only asks Chiman to come home whenever she feels upset. Chiman says her husband is happy at home. According to the promise she made to Nilay, Doğa goes with her to see the man she thinks is her father. The company's CEO is abroad, and when the news reaches his son, he sends his secretary to give them some money and dismiss them. Doğa gets angry at this and protests, and the man named Giray Shirozi comes out of his office and invites Doğa and Nilay into his office. Giray, upon hearing Nilay's claim, rudely says, "Are you frauds? Go find someone else." Doğa argues with him, and angrily leaves the company. At night, Kızılcık and Omar inform their families that they have decided to live together, and everyone is very happy. Doğa and Salme help Kızılcık pack her belongings shortly afterward, and they dance and laugh while doing so. Omid goes to his house to record his performance, and when he enters Rüzgar's room, he hears Rüzgar and Kızılcık talking about Rüzgar's affection for Nusama. Rüzgar says he doesn't know how this happened and why, he just knows it's not a passing feeling. Kızılcık asks him not to make a mistake because Nusama is a married woman. After Kızılcık leaves, Omid confronts Rüzgar and says, "You've known me for years. Nusama thinks you're her friend. Are you looking at my wife?" Rüzgar tells Omid that it's not as he thinks, but Omid warns Rüzgar to fire Nusama as soon as possible. After the ceremony, Giray meets Doğa again and asks her about their meeting yesterday. Doğa accepts his invitation for coffee and explains to him why she helped Nilay, saying she thought if she found a job and a purpose, she could become a better person because her only problem is that she wants to be liked. She tells Giray that Nilay is not someone who can easily get over this situation. Giray takes Doğa's number under the pretext of seeking help from her. At night, Nusama happily informs Omid that Rüzgar has promoted her. Omid, pretending to be happy, hugs Nusama, although hatred flashes in his eyes. The day of Fatih and Görkem's wedding arrives, and the groom's relatives come to take the bride to Görkem's house, where the ceremony takes place, and they head towards the wedding hall. Chiman is willing to go, but Gökhan stops her at the door, saying, "You're not coming. We should attend such ceremonies with our official spouses." Chiman, left alone at home, cries bitterly. Fatih and Görkem enter the hall and proceed with their marriage contract. Throughout the ceremony, Omar watches them with concern and discomfort. But Görkem behaves as if nothing has happened. The next morning, when Görkem goes downstairs in the mansion, Panbeh greets her happily and says, "Now, Mustafa's brother is coming. He's a stranger. Put on your hijab." Görkem calmly replies, "I'm comfortable as I am. I'll wear the hijab in front of my family." Panbeh, shocked, says, "Are you lying to your family?" Görkem responds, "What's it to you?" and continues, "I'm not Doğa. You can't deceive me, call me your daughter behind my back, and plot against me. I'll make your world a prison. I've crossed the Rubicon. I'll do whatever I want." Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode.